Welcome to Letters from Senpai. I am Matt Smith. This is Max. And we've got Cody across the table.
Howdy, partner.
One of today's subjects will be about anime characters that have inspired us. Basically, if it's anime, manga, anything of the sort. Characters from the Japanese culture that inspired us. Personally, mine is Vash the Stampede from Trigun. I love it. It's amazing. I cannot disagree with anybody who says Vash Stampede's the best. But Max, what is your character?
Rewind there for a second. Why is he the best? So, why do you like him so much?
Because he involves the idea of peace, love, and just anything that's possible.
Hippie.
Yes, I may be a hippie, but you know what? I can deal with it. Because I've got big skin.
Okay. Well, if it's one of my characters, it's definitely Inuyasha. Here's why. Okay, don't look at me that way, Cody. Because I already can see the look. Okay? I read Inuyasha when I was in middle school. The number one thing in middle school is being an outcast. Inuyasha was an outcast. I was 14 and I'm like, this is deep. I'm Inuyasha. So as I read it, I'm like, wait a second. This is really good. Anyway, so that's how I finished all of Inuyasha in 1 year of middle school, because I was really bored and lonely. Also, because I liked that he was an outcasty character, and as you know, associating yourself with anime in middle school doesn't exactly translate to popular kid at the table. So, children are monsters who will essentially, pack animal attack you, whether you're in or out of, a certain subject, or whether you're into something. But I think that kind of just goes, from, middle school to senior year of high school, but, Anyway, good watch, Tough Not. Your favorite character?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Max. The character that has stuck with me the most throughout the years would either have to be Yishiun from The Breaker or Shinji Ikari. They are both very similar characters in their development. However, they've gone through different paths in which.
Oh yeah, Netflix just came out again on Ava just came out again on Netflix.
So anyway, before you rudely interrupted me, Maximus.
Okay. Tell us about your Shinji fetish.
Bro.
I'd like to hear this.
So
it only excites me more.
So Yishiun, spoiler alert by the way, he is from The Breaker, which is a Korean manhwa.
What's a manhwa?
Yes, I want to hear about this manhwa.
A manhwa, it is spelled M-A-N-W-H-A, is basically just the Korean version of a manga. It's functionally the same as a manga. The only difference is where it comes from.
After 9.
That's to be determined. Depends on how you feed it. If you if you inject it, possibly. However, back on topic, The Breaker, and how Yishiun had stuck with me and inspired me throughout the years. Basically, his maturity and his character development through the first season into New Waves, which is the second season, how he started off as a suicidal high schooler who was saved by Gumanryong, which means the Iron Arch Dragon in Korean, how he became Gumanryong's disciple, whether or not he or Gumanryong had wanted it, and how he had ended up defeating his bully that drove him to being suicidal, and to being the leader of the Sunwoo clan towards the end of Breaker New Waves. What specifically I took from this is how he matured and how he dealt with his problems as he progressed as a character, because he started off suicidal and he just wanted to run away from his problems, right? Because he wasn't strong enough to fight back against his bullies. And he was so embarrassed that the girl he was in love with had to see him getting the shit beat out of him for his lunch money, basically. And then he was able to overcome those, become strong enough to defeat that bully, and deal with his problems like an adult. Shinji Ikari, however, a little bit different. He did mature throughout the plotline of Evangelion. However, the main point of his development was loving himself while also trying to unravel the secrets of the organization, and also trying not to kill himself because his father is just a massive piece of shit. But I have to say those two characters are tied for my top two characters. What inspired me or what stuck with me through the most.
So basically, top two characters, basically these two guys inspired you the most. All right. That's nice to hear. So our second subject of today, as we get through the fact that what inspired us, we're going to talk about Shonen Jump, the mega corporation that's, such titles as One Piece, Naruto, Saving Private Ryan.
No, that was a movie.
I'm sorry, that's not.
That's not
Okay,
a
so
manga.
essentially that wasn't okay.
I couldn't read that.
Shonen Jump. Okay, so Shonen Jump
see
did
that
not
one.
cover that.
Can I get a World War II manga from Japanese
Yeah,
perspective?
if we
question
got a
mark?
World War II manga, that would be amazing. God forbid, I'd love it.
Dude, you could write a
I'd
good
love to
plot
see
line
it.
on that.
I'd love to see Tom Hanks getting his fucking legs blown off. It'd be amazing.
It's kind of dark.
Besides that,
Really dark.
all right. So Shonen Jump. I want to hear because I have nothing on Shonen Jump. I really just
This is
I don't.
This is the Max
I
and
want to
Cody
hear
corner.
Max and Cody. Round one. I want to hear y'all beat the shit out of Shonen Jump. Ding go.
Shonen Jump are fucking pieces of shit. Listen, what they did to Kubo Sensei in Bleach, they gave him
Big Bleach fan.
They gave him a 5-chapter deadline and basically told him, if you're not finished with your manga in 5 chapters, you gotta get the fuck out whether or not it's finished.
Okay.
So that forced him to rush the end of Bleach, the Thousand War Blood arc, which this is a show and a manga that have been going on for 15 plus years.
True. Yes.
And they did not do that.
Bleach long.
They did not either do that to Naruto or One Piece, albeit One Piece and Naruto both did sell more than Bleach, so I do understand from a business perspective. However,
Well, I mean, like, Shonen, you just said it yourself. Shonen Jump's a business. It's cool that they allow cool artists and story writers to come together and create these great projects. You love Bleach. But was it the writing of Bleach that brought it down? Because, I mean, it wears on you. You said 15 years. They publish those chapters every week, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. A tankobon comes out like
about every week. So
week.
52 chapters a year.
So 52 chapters a year. That art's going to degrade. Because you can't keep, like, book 1 art and then have book 75 art be on the same page. There's absolutely no way. So when the art starts dropping, the fans start dropping. When the fans start dropping, the sales start dropping. And they just perpetuate each other. Because then Kubo's not getting paid as much, so why would he put any effort into doing it? Not saying that he didn't put effort into certain panels later on versus early on, but, I mean, it's demoralizing because you spend your whole life, like, creating this brainchild of a manga, and basically it's just like a roller coaster down, and it started off great success. We crushed it when it first came out. Hell, I remember watching Bleach on, what was it, Toonami, right? Toonami? Yeah, Toonami. And that was one of my favorite shows. I love Bleach. I think I copped out, like, it was either Ronkar arc, I think. It's where they went to Hueco Mundo. Hueco Mundo was the last thing I remember happening, and then I kind of fell off the train with it.
Was that when they went to essentially like the closest thing to a 7-Eleven?
No, Hueco Mundo's not a 7-Eleven.
I mean, it's like it's basically
It's a 7-Eleven for Soul Reapers, buddy. Anyway, Big Kid's gonna finish the conversation now.
Alright, go, fight.
So, but I understand the frustration behind it, because you're right. It was unfair to give him 5 weeks to do it. The problem is, how long are you going to keep letting him bleed out versus just cutting it off?
Well, he was already on the last arc. He was already on the last of the 1,000 Year Blood War arc, and he was also getting towards the end of the 1,000 Year Blood War arc. There was obvious signs that the final boss, Yuha Bak, spoiler alert, is that they were getting closer and closer to defeating him. So there couldn't have been more than 20 chapters left. And in my opinion, even from a business perspective, you could let him slide for 20 chapters. Five chapters is a little bit rough.
20 chapters, so what's that, like 5 months of you having to pay him on that role?
About 5 months, yeah.
That's a lot, because it's not just Kubo who does the entire thing. It's a whole team of people that do this shit. Granted, they don't get paid as much, which is a completely different topic and episode about how the manga industry just chews up artists and just spits out, like,
It's like a
Shonen
sketch.
Weekly.
It's like a sketch of a person drawing under a deadline, and then he falls asleep, and then he's still sketching underneath the sleep.
I think I read a report. On average, you get like 4 hours of sleep or 4 hours where you're not drawing manga per day, or 4 hours of sleep per day. That's insane.
That's
I can barely
essentially
get up to go to
happened-
school or get to go to college in time. These motherfuckers are out here drawing for hours.
That's essentially what happened to the writer of One Piece. He only got 4 to 3
He
hours
took his
of sleep.
honeymoon 15 years after him and his wife got married. Because it's just like,
Yes.
I'm in the middle of writing something big, honey. Hey, can we postpone this big life event for like 15 years? Anyway, but I agree. You know, they shouldn't have done that to Kubo. But I also understand it from a business perspective.
And so do I.
My only problem is with Shonen Jump. Or I don't know, did you have anything else to add?
To the Bleach?
Yeah, to the Bleach thing.
To the Bleach argument? Not particularly. There wasn't much they could have done for Kubo Sensei because like I said, the sales of Bleach did drop. It dropped from the 3rd spot consistently to the 10th spot, which is the last spot like in their rankings.
Okay, so the plus side of it dropping and like big threes falling are that new big threes come up. And I'm cool with that because I like it when something new shows up. I admittedly, I like One Piece. I've enjoyed One Piece.
My Hero Academia.
Yeah, My Hero Academia, Black Clover.
Why do they call
Promise
it
Neverland?
Academia?
Because that's just the name of it, G. I don't know what to tell you.
Essentially, wouldn't it be My Hero Academy? Or Academa?
Academia? Well, Academia is just like is like a different word for curriculum, right?
Oh, is it?
Probably.
Has it
Maybe.
always been academia?
Anyway, that's a bit off topic.
So, I don't know. I get a lot of, I've enjoyed My Hero Academia. I only watch, I don't read, so if anyone wants to skewer me, please do so. But,
I mean, they're gonna skewer us regardless. I mean, shit. I just tried to pronounce academia with, academy.
yeah. But, I'm tired of, like, I get it when a show first blows up, it's popular, and I'm just so tired of going everywhere and I see fucking Deku.
They have
Everywhere. I'm
my
so tired.
they have My Hero Academia posters at Walmart.
I know.
That's
When
how
you
popular.
made it to Walmart, that's the ultimate normie move. That's the ultimate normification.
When you make
Yeah,
it to Walmart?
When you make it to Walmart, ultimate normification. I found a Hatsune Miku poster in a Walmart down the road from me. Ultimate normie move.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
So
two, actually.
essentially, is it safe to say that almost like if it was like oh my god, where's the group I'm looking for?
If I may,
Hanson. If like Hanson could make it through Walmart, if My Hero Academia made it through Walmart, my god, what are we looking forward to?
I don't know.
I don't know who the fuck Hanson is. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to yelling at
It's a
Shonen.
damn band.
Okay.
You kids don't know anything.
Thank you, Grandpa.
If I may, I think the point that you're trying to make is that Shonen Jump pushes the big money making anime way too much,
Or
like
manga.
shonen or manga, either one. And they don't give smaller artists and up and coming artists enough of a chance.
Okay, that is true, but I did do some research. There is a lot more contests where they allow, like, independent, self-driven manga artists and story writers to actually create stuff. And if you do well enough against your competitors, you get serialized for like a trial period. I'm pretty sure, and then if you're good, then you take off. Because I don't know if that's been going on for a while, but I saw something about it on like Anime News Network or something of like some random source.
Tokyo Takamo, Kotaku.
TBD. But they just started doing it. I just don't appreciate what they do to artists. And the other thing I've had a problem with Shonen Jump, I feel like a lot of the stuff that is successful because it's a copy of something.
Hey, Black Clover.
Okay, so string me up again. I really feel like Black Clover reminds me a lot of Naruto. So
Yeah.
okay, well you know what? I think I'm like 40 episodes in or something like that. I know I'm not super far into it, but I'm picking up major Naruto vibes because it's like, oh boy, outcasted character, a weird special ability. Oh, he didn't get his grimoire. Okay, once he got his grimoire, it was like super evil bad grimoire thing. That's it reminds me of a certain yellow-haired person with a certain weird and mystical demon sealed within him that caused him to be outcast.
Asta's also blonde hair and
He's white hair.
Oh, he is?
White hair.
Excuse me. Well,
yes, he is white-haired.
I know his rival is similar to Asuke. Or Asuke.
Asuke.
My friend Asuke.
Yes, because when you think of Asuka, you think of pasta.
Anyway, so, I don't know. I pick a big vibe from it. Like, it's cool that it's successful, but I feel like I'm reading this or watching the same thing unfold again. And I don't know. I'm tired. I don't read as much Shonen Jump as I used to. I end up looking a lot more at just like random things on viewing apps like Manga Rock. I'll just scroll through like, man, this looks neat.
Shonen Jump Advanced, I'm not sure if it's still running.
There's Ultra Jump too. I think that's where JoJo's ended up getting shipped off to with the Rocky because they don't, he releases a chapter like mid-month every month, so he has a month to write a single chapter.
Shonen.
There's Ultra Jump, which is I think the one that JoJo's operates under.
Shonen Jump Advanced is where D. Greyman and I believe
Ultra Shonen Jump.
Shaman King. Stuff like that.
Dude, I forgot about Shaman King. That was one of the other series that I first really got me into it. I picked up Shaman King, like, this is clutch. I don't know why. I always remember the episode where they just fought someone, and this image sticks in my mind. And it's the main character and his spirit, and they're eating like a snow cone together. And I don't know why, I just remember them eating a snow cone. And I've had that memory for at least 7 years of just them eating a snow cone. Anyway, I really like Shaman King.
You tied in a memory of the Shaman King?
I just remember, because he said Shaman King, and that was the first thing that came to my head was that snow cone.
Well, back on that point, anyway. Shonen Jump Advanced, I'm not sure if they're still doing it. However, that's
like Ultra Shonen Jump.
That's where they I think that's where they give smaller artists really a chance to shine.
Yeah, but you just said D. Greyman's on there. How many chapters does D. Greyman have?
D. Greyman's it's almost 400 chapters.
But the thing is,
a small artist. If you're good enough to stay in for 400 chapters,
the thing is that
compared to something like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, or My Hero Academia.
Time out. Ultra, what is it? Ultra Shonen Jump, like y'all call it. Shaman King was not listed in Ultra Shonen Jump.
No, Shonen Jump Advanced.
What is it? Shonen Jump Advanced?
Yes.
I mean, we
I don't know. Shonen Jump variants. It doesn't really matter whether it's there or not, but it's still Shaman King nonetheless. So, what were we just talking about? We were talking about one. So if you have 400 chapters, I think 400 chapters into something, you're a pretty well-known artist.
Well, my point was that I think Shonen Jump Advanced, or like some of their smaller branches, like Shonen Jump Advanced, or what'd you say?
Ultra Jump.
I think those are where they let other like lesser known artists, because let's be honest, Masashi Kishimoto, a lot better known than the mangaka for D. Greyman or Shaman King or JoJo's, although JoJo's is rising in popularity.
They're always on the fucking rise.
5Ds or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yu-Gi-Oh!
5Ds, you say. Let's get the
Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Yu-Gi-Oh! Hakusho.
Generation X, get your game on. Get your game on. Come on, yeah. Dude, GX slapped. 5Ds slapped. Arc V, I could never understand anything. Link Brains, Hacker Dimension with card game. Anyway, so that's my Yu-Gi-Oh! Rant.
GX is still better than 5D's Fight Me.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fist fight later. I don't know. Motorcycles and card games sounds pretty more intense than Duel Academy.
Essentially riding bikes and fighting evil monsters. God.
With cards.
5Ds.
Okay, speaking of cards, I've been meaning to watch something. I've been meaning to start it for a while. I need to watch Card Captor Sakura. Because that thing has been going on since, like, what? Early 90s? I think.
TBD. I know it's a classic. I know a lot of old...
Man, search up Card Captor Sakura, because I've seen that thing everywhere. I don't know how much it has to do with cards.
A lot of older
reboots. Card Captor Sakura?
Into, like, a Magical Girl or a Mahou Shoujo. For our Japanese viewers.
Big terms.
It's a very popular...
Card Captor Sakura.
Kind of like Madoka Magica.
Alright, so essentially Card Captor Sakura.
Just tell me when it started.
Oh my god. It started in the 1800s. Fucking old ass anime. wood
I'm sorry,
chips
what?
live farther
Pause.
than this.
What do you mean?
What kind of animation was that?
The plot was surrounded by
Flip books?
old settlers clacking
Come on, tell me when it
Alright,
started.
let's see, where did it start? 1996 to June 2000, and published in 12 tankobon volumes by Kendo Nashia.
So pretty
Certified,
technical.
bro.
From
Well, still.
November 1996 to July 2000. Holy shit. It's an old-ass anime.
Yeah, okay, anyway, so if we can talk about card games for a second, I'd like to say one thing. And you know what? I've been watching a lot of fucking shows recently. And I watched Card Fight Vanguard, and I'll give them this. This is the only card game show or card game based anime I've ever watched where I've been able to actually follow along with how the rules of the game work within the first handful of episodes. Because if you watch the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And you try and go to like a local Yu-Gi-Oh! Night and play that, everything you will do will be incorrect entirely. Because it's just like a dark magician on the field. And you can't do that. You can't. What do you mean? That's what Yugi did. And then you just can't do that.
Well, even the life point, where you start off with life points, because in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! It started off at 4,000, but in actuality, you
Actual
start off
points
with
8,000. This is Max's segment on card games, which is what I waste my other time
So
doing.
essentially,
I like magic.
the
Mood.
so essentially this this card collector Sakura or Suka,
Card captor.
You know, I'm old. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking
You can
about.
pronounce collector.
Yeah. Besides that, so apparently there was a video game on the Wander Swan.
I've never heard of that.
I don't see how that's relevant to our conversation.
Anyway, so we went back. Going back to Shonen Jump. One thing I did like on there that I watched the show of recently, Promised Neverland. Man, that was a treat. I liked that show. That was our little micro Shonen Jump bash. That hears me gushing all over Shonen Jump. I really like Promised Neverland. That was cool.
Wow, you're special.
Promised Neverland?
Yeah, whatever. Fight me. What's your? Oh, you like Bleach? Okay. What else do you like?
Kimi no Nawa.
Okay. What else?
Evangelion.
Wow. I have really deep taste. Fake intellectual alert. Fake deep. I'm 14. This is deep. Post sad edits of Shinji Yukari and Asuka saying pathetic.
K Project was pretty good as well.
What was that?
K?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's weird. That's the one. I like how they just like K. What should we name our show?
K.
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 All right, we're gonna go with it. No, that was a joke. K.
K.
No.
K. I got it.
This is gonna be so
K.
bad. This is gonna be so bad. Yeah, but all in all, I think Shonen Jump's improving, but they're just not. They're improving somewhat, but it's still kind of like I don't know. It's less in the U.S. because we don't have like a corner bookstore that carries them, or like 7-Eleven doesn't carry Shonen Jump, obviously. At least around here it doesn't. I don't know about what the West Coast
you
looks
can
like.
go to a Barnes and Noble.
They sometimes have them. They do not always have them. You're better off just going on your phone and going on like something like Manga Rock, or what do you read your manhwa on, Cody?
Manga Rock.
It's just like, it's also free, so okay. I pay nothing, I gain comic.
Line webtoon's also decent if you like webtoons, like
Okay.
The Gamer.
What is a webtoon exactly?
So it's read top to bottom and left to right.
So it's read like an American comic book.
Yes. However, the format is it's basically one long vertical strip, and you read down it. Each chapter is just one long strip, and when you reach the end of the strip, you reach the end of the chapter.
Huh. So that's what defines a webtoon?
Yes. Generally, also webtoons are colored, fully colored.
Well, yeah, because you're only doing like one panel at a time. It's not like you're doing a full spread of multiple panels or scenes.
Well, I think it's also because if you look at a lot of webtoons, the intricate details that you would find in manga aren't really there. It's more so, it seems like the editing is mostly done in like computer software.
What are some good webtoons? 'Cause I'm now curious what a webtoon like what is a well-established webtoon?
You want three? The top three?
Sure, give me 3.
Noblesse, Tower of God, and The Gamer.
The Gamer.
Oh, and my personal favorite, The God of High School.
Got a high school?
The God of High School.
What? Didn't it get an anime?
No, it got a preview.
Wow.
And then
so it's just stuck in purgatory, basically.
Essentially, like JoJo's Part 5 was for a long time.
Part 6 never, boys. Time for the wait to begin.
I can't wait for Jolene to smash my balls.
This is don't let you on this podcast. Oh, man. Man, you have any thoughts about Shonen Jump?
Besides just One Piece and the main factors in Shonen Jump. No, I mean, for the most part, Shonen Jump is, it's pretty much solid for me. Yu Yu Hakusho came off of Shonen Jump. You know, One Piece, of course.
You need to finish Yu Yu Hakusho in like 6 episodes.
Yeah, I know. We're always behind the animes that we want to watch.
I will appreciate one thing about Shonen Jump, and I'm not sure if Shonen Jump and Viz Media are related at all. However,
I don't think so.
I do know that's another large corporation. Shonen Jump has brought and made popular anime in the West. I think without Shonen Jump, anime may not be as popular in the U.S. specifically and in Western audiences.
Yeah, well, see, that segues into a good point, is that how anime is now becoming super mainstream and influencing current pop culture.
Yeah, because you know Shonen Jump was started that way.
What do you mean that way?
Shonen Jump was actually started, like, pretty much illegally. Like, the guy, I can't remember names or exactly how, but Shonen Jump was taken from Japan and brought over here. Like, basically illegally.
Huh.
Like,
that's something to look into. But, so, normalization, or how popular, less of Shonen Jump. I never remember to bring up one of my favorite things, and probably one of Cody's least favorite things, idols. Not gonna lie, right now, you can go on Billie Eilish's website, buy a shirt that's stolen Nozomi art from Love Live, and she's selling it for like 75 pounds, or 75 euros or something, and it's literally just ripped art from a fucking Love Live hentai.
Speaking of Billie Eilish, actually, and on the point of how...
Bills.
And on the point of how anime has had an effect on pop culture, you're going to like this a lot, because I know one of your favorite things of all time is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
If not my favorite, Part 7 is the best piece of literature that's been written in a long time, fight me. Part 6, Part 8.
A lot have...
Also Part 5.
Okay, cock. A lot of people seem to think that Billie Eilish has ripped some of her art, or some of her style, based off of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure characters.
I did read something about that, because she did some picture where it was her with the two, like... the Jolene buns, and a bunch of JoJo communities like, oh, this is it, man. She's a part of the team. She's a part of the JoJo team.
But apparently, she knows nothing about that.
That's much bullshit.
Well,
you can't pick something that bizarre but that specifically matched and not say you take inspiration.
Well, someone actually sent her a comment on a post she made on Twitter, mentioning JoJo's, and she responded by saying that what the fuck is JoJo's? Like, what is JoJo? So she effectively, it might be her fashion designer.
Time to fight Billie Eilish. Fight me, Billie Eilish. You can't say anything bad about JoJo's.
So, on that point, what do you think is another clear influence in pop culture that was caused by anime?
Clear influence that was definitely caused by anime?
Actually, I have another one before you answer, and that'll give you a little bit more time.
Yeah, I gotta process
to come up
that
with one.
A clear connection.
There actually right now is something that's called the One Punch Man Challenge, which is it's a workout that you do, which is 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run, which is roughly 6.2 miles. But
you can barely get me to run around like to go get mail, but okay.
Yeah, we know you're not the smallest boy.
Whatever.
But it's gotten a surge in popularity as of recent, and a lot of people that have previously have not been in the best of shape have gotten physically active. Thank you. Have gotten into shape or have gotten physically fit because of the One Punch Man Challenge, or because they were inspired by Saitama.
Huh. Okay, so I don't know if you guys watch this. I'm gonna sidetrack off this for a second. Did any of you guys watch One Punch Man season 2?
No, I
I
did
read the
not
manga.
watch One Punch Man season
Okay,
2.
okay.
Not the original manga, the one that was.
I've seen number 1. Season 1
was good, but season 2, everyone's been saying it's trash, and I like to touch on that for just a second because everyone's really ripping into it about how it wasn't that great, and you should just rewatch season 1 and then read like half of season 2 is in a manga, and then you'll get the same effect. And I'm like, oh, but I admitted I was like, all right, I came here to watch Saitama beat stuff up, which admittedly there's a couple good scenes in season 2, okay. But I also enjoy the fact that Season 2 flushes out the world of One Punch Man. It tells us about the Hero Association. What it's like to be a hero that isn't an X-tier or S-class hero. You know, that all these people are trying to strive for being these heroes, and it's a pretty brutal cycle, because they're legit clout chasing. They're trying to kill Garo. A squad of A's, they're trying to kill Garo, which is the main villain. The main antagonist of season 2.
Isn't he the hero killer?
Yeah, hero killer. And they explain. I think it's like just like heavy metal blaster, heavy metal or Gatling, or it's a Gatling man or something. And he's talking about like once we kill you, everyone will see how useful we are. That we're not just like it's proving to the world that if just because we're not class S heroes, we're still fucking heroes. And I'm like, you know what? I really like that part. I connected with that. I thought it was interesting because it shows, like, you know what, you're not the 100% best at something, and so people will ignore you if you're not the 100% best. Like, does anyone remember the second place Olympic finisher in the Olympics of, like, anything? Probably fucking not, but guess who they do remember?
Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps. Usain Bolt, whatever, you know, Usain Bolt. Tons of people who were in first place. But it shows that it's like, you know what, it's not all about being, well, it is... It's about being first, but it's also about realizing, you know, we're people too. Just because we're not number one, we're also human beings. And I thought that was kind of cool for a show that's about a bald guy who literally evaporates people with a light tap from his hand.
One Punch.
One Punch. Anyway, so
the best part of One Punch Man is still when Saitama doinks Sonic in the nuts.
Oh my god, that's such a flashback. Bruh, please don't. Oh, man.
Anyway, did you have any ideas on how anime has had an effect on pop culture?
You know, I think I have. And this is kind of ties in with a couple other fandoms, which I'm sure will overlap here. I live near a comic book store. It's like 45 minutes away. It's called Third Eye Comics. It's pretty big on the East Coast. But I go in there, and going into the comic book store used to be like a special nerd haven kind of thing. Like I could go there whether I wanted to read Batman or whether I wanted to pick up an issue of like Ninja Slayer or whether I wanted to go read One Piece or something. I could go there and buy it. I go into Barnes & Noble more frequently now because I can go into a Barnes & Noble and it's literally just my local comic book store copy-pasted. But the problem with it is that I still don't know the count, but I think Barnes & Noble has a greater selection than the comic book store. And I'm tired. I don't know. I think businesses are latching on to the whole comic book, anime, manga thing, and they're just reaping it for cash. Which, I understand it's a business, and maybe this is gatekeeping, and maybe, you know, sorry if I'm gatekeeping the fandom here, but I'm just... I don't know. Way too many people, or way too many businesses are hopping in on this train. And I just don't know if I like it. What do you think about it? What do you think about, like, businesses? Like, I can go to GameStop and I can go buy, like, a My Hero Academia statue, a One Piece statue. I can probably, on a good day, find maybe an issue of One Punch around there. I don't know.
Well, I think it's a good thing because... if any of our audience is subscribed to or knows of the Anime Man, a very popular video he made is that anime is dying, either because anime itself is not selling because of illegal streaming services, just ripping the anime.
Kiss Anime, Lamau,
yeah.
9 Anime, Lamau.
9 Anime, it was hockey streamers.
Lamau.
Angela Haven. And how anime is dying. However, when you see big box sellers like GameStop or Barnes and Noble kind of embracing anime, selling more statues and the such, it kind of gives an argument to the opposite point that anime is alive and well, and how it's not going to disappear in the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, but is this basically a flash in the frying pan, and that it's gonna be here just for a little while, and eventually this is gonna fade out, or is, like you said, or will big businesses picking out continue and bring life to anime by bringing all these new people into it?
Well, we can't really read into the future, at least I don't think.
I can.
You can?
I can. I'm using Epitaph right now for all you Part 5ers out there.
Okay, psychic. Anyway, but I think it gives the anime community and anime itself, whether it be, the creators behind it, or just the shows. I think it gives us hope. It gives us hope that our, as grueling as Shonen Jump and, being a mangaka in general is, I think it'll keep us alive. And the fact that we are selling, and the fact that it's being introduced into these big box sellers, and even, we made a point earlier that My Hero Academia and Hatsune Miku, they've made it into Walmart. So even though they're being normalized and, normies are picking it up, that's not always a bad thing, because it's opening it up to a wider audience, which means more selling, which means it's going to stay around longer.
Yeah, but it means only certain things are going to stay around longer. How many more... Okay, so whenever a big show or like something new comes onto the market, I'll throw it back to an example probably a decent amount of people listening to this can relate to. Does everyone remember when the first season of Sword Art Online came out? Came off. How that basically kickstarted isekai as like a really big thing. And how many isekai shows are there now?
A ton.
I can literally...
A metric shit.
I can just throw rocks and hit the plot of like every isekai show that's been written. So, is it a good thing? Because what happens if like when My Hero Academia ends, or we're even seeing it now, I think there's already like definitely not Corks, wink wink, already being used in other manga as like a plot, They're just ripping off MHA, or like Naruto went away, Black Clover popped up. Man, I'm seeing a lot of similarities there. Naruto was really successful. Black Clover was the first on the scene that was really successful. I don't know. Basically, I think it's just gonna trend hop, and all we're gonna do is get like the same 7 shows, and then maybe you'll get a good one every once in a while.
Like a recycled plot line is what, like very similar, very similar plots and settings, or not necessarily settings, but very similar shows in general is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, they're just recycling the same thing, or it's not as recycling. It's just like in the death of one, like 50 more pop up, or not 50 more, but like five more pop up. And sure, I'll admit this. Some of the spin-offs and some of the descendants are actually pretty good. A lot of people like Rising of a Shield Hero. Isekai done right. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I know a lot of people like it too. So, I mean, there is good in it, but there is also bad in it. And that, like, for every one Rising of a Shield Hero, there's like 6 fucking...
Konosubas.
No, Konosuba everyone likes because it's a good comedy. Because it's less about being isekai and more about it being funny and fantasy.
That's fair.
Because I think there's a line that you follow with isekai where it's like, on the left half of the fork, you go fully into the plot of the person trying to get home. And on the right half of it, they kind of immerse themselves in the world around them, and they become a part of the world. So you have stuff like Konosuba where the focus goes from trying to go home to just like getting through life in the fantasy world. Mm-hmm. And same with Rising of Shield Hero. At the end of season 2, or the end of the long season 1, whatever it is, they don't mention going home at all. He doesn't care anymore. So it's like,
well, I think similarities in plots and in like world building is kind of just something that you have to deal with. Like, even if you look at Western...
yeah, I guess the storytelling's repetitive. I think it's what Picasso, a good artist, what is it? I think it's like, a good artist copies, a great artist steals.
Sure.
I think that actually is a quote, but
You mentioned isekai and how it's kind of it's booming right now. How it's extremely popular.
Yeah.
How it started off with Sword Art Online. It's
Well, you could also say like Log Horizon is one of the other ones too. But
well,
I had to watch.
that wasn't nearly as popular as Sword Art Online. I think Sword Art Online definitely made isekai what it is today.
I can agree with that.
And that's, what created ReZero, which is also immensely popular. But
Can't go to a single convention without seeing Rem.
or ROM.
I don't see any ROMs at cons. I literally have not seen a single ROM cosplayer.
Really?
I do not think I have seen one.
Well, back on my point. I think sure that plots will be recycled, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because that still gives hope for smaller mangakas and smaller animation studios to create something that's not necessarily the same. Like, give it as much shit as you want as a show. Darling in France was not an isekai, and it was completely different from anything else that was around at that time, or at least.
I don't know about that, but
What, Infinite Stratus, or...
No, Infinite Stratus is a harem. It was good. I can't think of anything it would have copied, but I feel like it's boy, girl with weird... boy with problem meets girl with problem. They link up. They go... realize they need each other to solve their problem. They solve problem.
Well, that's a love story. Boy with problem meets girl with problem. That's just how love stories in general end up coming to fruition. That's how they end up. Well, that's just how they end up. And there's not really much you can do about that. There are certain similarities within media that you can't get around. Like the guy that screams a lot and punches a lot, like Asta and Naruto or Dragon Ball Z, which is still around today. That's never going to go away because it's simple and it's simple and effective. It's simple and effective. It's going to wrap in an audience because it's inspirational, and because Goku is effectively Superman, just an Eastern version of Superman.
I can agree with that too.
So you kind of have to you kind of have to accept that there are going to be there's going to be genres like typical shonen and isekai that are going to be popular, but that's good for the rest of anime because whether or not it's an isekai or whether or not it's something completely out of the water like Hayao Miyazaki's works or Your Name, which is personally my favorite movie of all time, let alone my favorite anime movie. Or Sword of the Stranger, actually. I forgot about that. That's another great movie. I'll have to show you that later.
That's a different episode.
But it gives when you keep the whole of anime alive, I think it is a good thing because it gives this while it pushes the popularity of isekai and shonen, it still keeps anime alive enough to the point where smaller
it allows
artists,
something else to start.
Yeah,
it keeps it alive long enough for something else to exist.
Yeah, basically. Because if you kill anime in general, like if there was no shonen, anime wouldn't be popular in the West. I feel that's a pretty fair argument.
I don't think it'd be popular anywhere without shonen.
Yeah.
Because it's like comic books. When these comic books first came out in the West, it was like, who are we selling these to? Children, maybe like tweens, early teens, who are manga written for?
Pretty much young adults.
Yeah, young adults. Who are manga for? Young adults. So,
yeah.
I think, without one, you wouldn't have had the other.
I think there is a manga for kids, and then there's a manga for young adults. It just depends on how you look at it. Like, where
I mean, that's not to say, though, that like, kids manga can't be enjoyed by young adults, though.
Oh, yeah, no. There's no difference in the fact that, like, what differs between, kids manga and adults manga, where adults can enjoy kids manga.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, well,
this closes out episode 2 of Letters from Senpai. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Y'all have a good night.
see you later.
Deuces.